Good morning. Good morning. I just want to put a little disclaimer out there before I start this video that this may get a little graphic. Hopefully it's a little educational, but it's my story, and I'm definitely going to use this as therapy because I know there's thousands, if not millions, of people that have been in my position. So bottom line, when I was between the ages of 8 and 10, I was molested, sexually abused by a close friend of the family. She was about between, well, I don't exactly remember her age. I know she was maybe late teenager, early 20s, but most likely late teenager. Thank God I wasn't penetrated. I remember that for sure. But I was, I guess you could say forced or coerced into rubbing and touching and licking on her. It was weird, to be honest. But as a boy, as a young child, basically, I didn't know any better. She just telling me to do this, telling me to do that. And, she's telling me it feels good and this helps women feel good or females feel good, etc., etc. But it kind of shaped how I looked at females and looked at sex at a young age. I can't sit up here and say if it's worse for a male to be molested or sexually abused by another male. Thank goodness I wasn't in that position. But still, looking back at my life, I'm 49, I'll be 50 in a few weeks. And just thinking back of how it shaped, that was just the beginning of how I looked at sex and sexual encounters with females. I know there's a percentage of people out there that get abused and then eventually become the abusers. Thank God that I have not fell into that trap or become one of those statistics. I know there's I don't want to say a high percentage, but I know hurt people, and all I can say is I'm blessed to not have done that to anyone. So that's a good thing, I guess. This still, I know sexual abuse goes underreported, especially, kids not saying anything. I was one of them. To this day, my mom is 76 years old, and she still doesn't know that her, I guess, childhood friend's kid did that to me. You know what I'm saying? They left me alone. We're from New York, and they went on a gambling trip to Atlantic City, to all my East Coast people, and they left me. They left me with her a couple of times, and I was put in a bad position. But then, I look back, and my mom, she didn't have me at a young age, so that's no excuse. My mom, when she had me, she was 26 years old, but she was not meant to be a parent. My mom was in the streets. She liked to hang out. She liked to party. She was with different men. And at the end of the day, I would be dropped off at grandma's house, or a friend's house or whatever, so she can go have her fun. So seeing that, and then, well, being in that, and then seeing how she would, let's just say, take advantage of men and use men for money. And she would, I don't know if she used her body for money. I don't know if she was basically hoeing or prostituting or whatever. But I've walked in on my mom on multiple occasions as a child having sex with different men. You know, so the trust that I had in women and females growing up was severely compromised, you know. Then I get into college years, and I had a best friend, still have a best friend. He's one of my guys, not gonna say his name, but when I met him, almost every female he was dealing with in college was in relationships, engaged to be married, or they, you know, they was with their high school sweetheart, grade school sweethearts, and they was willing to cheat, you know, with him. And I saw him, I'm talking about female after female after female. You know, he was, you know, player of the year for multiple years in my eyes. You know, so like I said, seeing that from a young man's perspective on, you know, basically a peer of mine, and then dealing with that and seeing that at a younger age in my own household really skewed how I looked at relationships. But the one thing that I had going on, I didn't have a big family, you know, so it was basically me and my mom, and that was so I was yearning for family and yearning for that family dynamic that I didn't have. So then when I met my baby mother, and I poured all my love into her, you know, she was everything to me. And she got pregnant with my daughter, and I thought that was it. I thought I was gonna live the American dream, married with kids, stuff like that. But guess what? Within months of my daughter being born, my baby mother was talking to her ex, you know, her high school sweetheart. We were young, you know. I was 22. She was I was 21. She was 19 when we met. My daughter was born when I was 25, so she was 23, and she was talking to her, like I said, her high school sweetheart. And that broke my heart. That was it. That was the last straw for me. And after that, my trust was completely broken when it came to relationships. So I was just, I mean, that was it. I was in other relationships, serious relationships after that, married, everything. But I always had a plan B. You know, I always, you know, just didn't take love seriously after that. I could get deeper, but I'm not gonna get too deep, you know, because it's been almost 10 minutes. So I don't want to drag this video on and take it to another dimension, basically. This is definitely a subject I could touch at a later date. when it comes to relationships. But on the sexual side, being molested was the catalyst. It was the starting point for me. And I just hope that people that's been molested or sexually abused in their younger years have found help. I haven't sought any therapy. I basically got through it on my own, to be honest. Don't know how. Can't sit up here and tell you guys this worked, that worked. I just got through it. I just lived through it. And I'm pretty sure there's thousands of people that have been through and have gone through what I've been through and got through it the same way I'm getting through it. But this YouTube channel, once again, has been my therapy. And anybody that has any advice or want to share their story, please do. Hit the comments. There's a no judgment zone on my end. And of course, this is social media, so we're gonna have positive feedback, but we're also gonna have negative feedback. Hey, I'll just delete and block you if that's the case. I want everybody to feel comfortable in their skin and be comfortable with sharing their story if they like. But once again, thank you for watching, listening, and please like and subscribe if you want to hear more story time from me. I get personal. Yes, my face isn't being shown, but I do have a photo of me in the bio. So, once again, thank you. God bless. Peace.